Hi, welcome to Mrs. Vanderpile's Literacy Intervention Back to School Night 2020. This year in Literacy Intervention, I will be working with the SPIRE program. SPIRE is a program for students and adults who have mild to moderate gaps in their reading and decoding and spelling skills. It's a great program that I've been using the past few years in basic skills, and I've really seen some great success with the students that have been using it. As long as your students are in class and they pay attention and they try their hardest, we should see some great growth in their reading skills this year. So for my class, students will need a folder, a pencil, a highlighter, a reader, a workbook, a segmentation board, and a graphing board. All of that is kept here in my classroom. I've assigned each student a cubby, and when they come to class, they can pick up their materials from the cubby. They don't need to worry about bringing anything back and forth from my class. Attendance is super important in SPIRE because in SPIRE, your children are leveled. Once they're in that level, we work through a scripted program and we start with lesson 1, and each lesson builds off the lesson before. So if they miss a lesson or if they're late and they miss half the lesson, that's really going to affect them moving on to the next lesson. So being in class on time and or being on Google Meet on time is very important for this class. There are 8 levels in SPIRE. I've been working hard the past week to level all of your students. I've been testing them one-on-one, and once they're tested, they're put into a level. Once we start, we will start at the beginning of whatever level they're on, and like I said, we'll start at lesson 1 and we'll work our way through the level. At the beginning of each lesson and at the end of each lesson, they take a quick little assessment to see if they've mastered the skill. That's important because if they haven't mastered the skill, we'll stay on that lesson and do some reinforcements to make sure they understand before we move on. So like I said before about the progress checks, they will take a pre and a post test for each lesson, and there's a quick check assessment at the end of each lesson, and that's the one that's super important because we need to make sure they've mastered the skill before moving on, because we can't move on to long vowels until their short vowels are mastered. Stuff like that. It builds off each other. My expectations are pretty simple. All the school rules apply in my class. We'll be working together and we're going to be respectful and kind to each other. A lot of the students in my class do struggle with reading and they are embarrassed about that, but we're going to work hard and we're going to overcome some of those deficits this year. And they're all in the same boat, so we should all work together and be kind to each other. That's super important. Again, being on time is very important because if they miss anything, that's really going to affect them moving on to the next lesson. And cell phones, iPods, and other electronic devices should not be used in my classroom. If nothing else, they're very distracting, and it's very important that they pay attention while we're doing the SPIRE lessons. If your child is joining me through Google Meet, please make sure they're in a room without a TV on or music on or siblings talking on a Google Meet, because SPIRE it's very specific and they need to hear exactly what's happening to master that skill. So for them to be in a quiet area without distractions would be ideal for this program. Here's my information. Email is definitely the best way to contact me. I do check my email several times a day. So if you shoot me an email, I can get back to you as soon as I see it. The more we can be in contact, the better. We can work together to help your child overcome their reading deficits and work on their reading and comprehension skills this year. So like I said, please reach out if I can help with anything, and have a great night. Thanks for joining my class.